So, we flash back a little bit as Cassidy successfully disarms a trapped secret drawer, pulling out a few pieces of paper and 2 bottles of lighter fluid that would have made the apartment go up in smoke, given enough time. The pieces of paper contain the last act of the Muppet Show, Sex, Drugs and Violence. Specifically, the reveal of the secret mystery guest. Right. When last we left off, our investigators had found themselves in the censorship board's offices in Washington, D.C., already under the investigation by someone in a silver Chevrolet. They ended up getting all the information they figured they'd need, and a paperweight, apparently, because apparently you always take the paperweight, keep them guessing.
Gotta keep them guessing.
When they made their way to New York City to investigate disappearances at the Muppet Show. The first disappearance they went to investigate was the one that had triggered the Delta Green investigation. This was a disappearance of a makeup artist from her own home, where scratch marks on the floor had triggered Delta Green to take over the investigation. When the investigators arrived on the scene, they found out rather quickly that the scratch marks were from the victim's own nails, and that the victim was mercilessly stuffed in the chimney. A reverse Santa, if you will. They also found that the victim had their tongue and eyelids removed, as if saying that they should not look away and watch something, and that they were not allowed to speak something. With all those discoveries out of the way, and a scene of vomiting by the police officer who was guarding the scene, our investigators made their way to a motel in New York, where they're planning out their next moves. Probably something revolving around the Muppet Theater. So, investigators, what is your next move?
Well, is there anything wrong with going in guns blazing?
I mean,
it's a
we don't
joke.
have any proof of wrongdoing yet, do we?
It was a joke. It was absolutely a joke.
Normally, I'd agree with you there, but we might want to get some more details around this Henson, was it, and his Muppets, was it?
Yes, the Muppet Show, Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll. I believe it sounds fascinating.
Scandalous. I don't like it.
I'd like to learn more, but yes, quite scandalous. So, do we head to the theater in the morning? Maybe we catch a nice breakfast together. Find a good deli, not that deli that maybe gave the officer food poisoning, a different deli.
Now, you don't know that the deli actually gave the officer food poisoning.
Yeah, that's true. It could have been revulsion at the dead body, but
Yeah.
really, people get revolted at dead bodies. Fascinating. All right.
I mean, not everyone spends so much time around dead bodies like you.
I know, we can't all be so fortunate.
I don't know. I do kind of think there's foul play here. I mean, no one just cuts off their own eyelids. You know?
I mean, technically. This is Call of Cthulhu we're talking about.
I mean, we've seen some strange things at Delta Green, and that what you mentioned is one of them. But in this case, I agree with you.
No, I'm saying logistically, it is extremely difficult to
Yes.
be able to do that without stabbing your eye out.
True, very true.
Obviously,
Yes.
the woman was murdered, but
Yeah.
we don't have any proof that it's tied to Mr. Henson or his Muppets.
It's fair.
Nature finds a way.
Well, I suppose we could do the due diligence thing and ask some questions before we go in guns blazing.
You would know that as part of stuff that you get from the from your various agencies and from Delta Green, because you aren't going in, and this is the era of government overspending on Black Ops programs. You actually have some toys to play around with. So, first off, you have access to rather newfangled bugs, as in the kind of things that you stick under a seat and then get audio from, all based on radio. So, range is a bit shitty, but I mean, if you're in a van on the other side of the street of the Muppet Theater, you can definitely hear what's going on without physically being in there. No video bugs yet in this in this era, I think. So, but you would have access to audio equipment.
Any access to lab equipment?
Depends on what you want. Field kits, probably less so. Getting access to an actual lab in New York City quickly. I did say that I wasn't going to make you guys do tests for things, but that I would getting it quickly, I would call a test. Failure would just mean it would take a few days. Success would mean you have access now. You don't have to do that though. Anyone who's good with governmental bureaucracy can see if they can arrange that for you.
I will point out I put a bunch of gear in Cassidy's inventory. I don't know if you checked whether she's actually allowed to have all of that stuff. It comes with the base kit for a specialist, it said in the book, so that's why I picked it, but...
Let me check your inventory. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to say, yeah, sure, up to most of it. Gear. Okay, technically you wouldn't have an AK-47. I didn't know you could have an AK-47. An AK-47 as an American soldier?
I don't know guns, okay? What's the American equivalent? I'll name it something
M15.
else.
M15 assault rifle, also known as the thing that keeps blocking up whenever you're in a desert or a jungle.
Well,
Not
we're
very
in,
fit for purpose.
well, we're in New York City, so we don't need to worry about the jungle or the desert.
Yeah, just the urban jungle. Based on what
yeah,
I'm
so-
seeing in your kit, yeah, everything there should be fine.
So Cassidy will point out that she, or mention that she does have some toys stashed away for if we do want to go in by force, because that's what she's good at.
No, I think the others are right. A softer approach, perhaps, is needed. We can do guns blazing, interrogations, LSD, all of the standard stuff later. You've got me, Jerry.
Oh yeah. So breakfast. Where are we thinking? What are we?
In the morning?
Diner
Can we talk
around the
about it? I don't know if I can think about food right now. don't know. It's just something about the way that body was positioned and the. I'm sorry.
So why don't we think
Usually
about
not
that?
this squeamish.
Why don't we think about that for a second? She was stuffed up a chimney, eyelids removed, tongue removed, all with a visualization of forced vigilance and a lack of voice. Right? What sort of message do we think they're trying to send here? Is this forced upon them, or was this made so that someone else could be found and interpret that as well?
Well, she was hidden, so there's a certain element of difficulty to finding her. It took Delta Green to actually locate her corpse. If she was meant to just send a message, she probably would have been splayed out.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
Well, hold on. And Tav, you said that it's very likely that she was still alive when they did the removal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What you on your investigation, what you found out was that she was likely alive during the removal, but because there weren't any defensive wounds, she was likely either paralyzed or sedated.
Okay.
And then you realize that she likely came to when they started moving her. That's when the scratching started, and she was pulled up into the chimney. And honestly, the way you figure it, it seems more like someone was planning to abduct her, but it was someone who didn't realize how chimneys are small spaces, and you can't really pull a human body through a small space.
Oh. I'm just trying to think, like, what would my character with a, background in forensics think, So,
Well,
what?
one thing that you immediately would know with your background in forensics is that pulling someone up through a chimney like that would either require like a significant, like putting a rig through the chimney with a crane outside it, or it would require someone who could actually fit through a chimney and has reasonable strength. So the way you're guessing it, it's likely something smaller than a human, or at the very least more flexible and probably thinner, and something with significant strength, because it literally pulled someone up through a chimney to a point where their bones broke.
So we're not looking for
And-
Santa Claus.
Definitely not.
No, but maybe one of his elves.
And
I
like,
mean, if this
Sorry,
is
go ahead.
related, if this is related to the Muppet Show, could it simply be that they want her to watch the show? I
or
don't. know.
perhaps
Sorry,
she's
I'm-
a.
The moment
I'm new to this.
Cassidy says that, you realize, wait, that actually rings true. That might actually very well be the thing that is going on. Just that the one sent out to find her was not well versed in dealing with humans. And at this point, I will allow another occult check, because none of you have high enough occult to actually get this. Nope. Nope.
Oh,
No.
fuck.
Cool. Yeah, you still have
Cool.
no idea what this could be,
The
even
streak
though
of luck has not changed.
you have no idea what this could be, except for that you know it isn't. Also, remember the marks.
Oh yeah, I was just about
Yeah.
to say that just gives me an opportunity to improve this later.
You remember that. Sorry, I'm blanking for a second. The thing you would know is this was done by something definitely inhuman, and absolutely something that Delta Green is usually interested in. You just don't really know what thing it is.
Heather, any chance we could send off a sample of the whatever was in her veins to an FBI lab and maybe get an idea of what might have been used to sedate Miss Smith?
Well, would I have access to like my forensic tools or like my lab tool? Well, I guess in
Like I
1970
said-
there's
like I
not
said-
like anything that particularly.
Or like that
advanced.
portable, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I said, you could definitely do this. Getting it quickly, that would be a bureaucracy check. With success meaning that you'd get it like within a day or two, and a failure meaning that you would get it next week. And you know that the time frame you're on is 2 weeks. On that.
Okay,
How's
That's when the
how's your bureaucracy?
I have a 40.
I too have a 40. But,
Me as well.
Yeah,
I have a
let's
30.
see.
Not actually completely
terrible.
talented at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could all try and use that to see if maybe you can get anything.
Yeah.
But if
God.
you fail, I'll let all of you roll just using your different contacts to get
Yeah.
this.
Anybody?
Alice!
Alice!
Yes.
So
Fuck yeah,
Um,
Alice.
probably using one of your former MK Ultra contacts.
Oh, absolutely.
You're able to get an appointment at one of the testing facilities of the in probably just what is the university in New York called?
New York University.
New York University. Okay, so one of the testing facilities at New York University, with like a professor who worked with MK Ultra. So I mean, even if he wasn't willing to help you, you have dirt on him that makes him want to help you. So you pass this off, and you expect to hear back like either today, end of the day, or tomorrow. And yes, we are hydrated. I have carbonated water with ginger syrup.
I have coffee. But it's in
Wow.
a fluffy cow mug.
Yeah.
Aww.
Makes it taste better.
It does.
Well, look at that. It would seem that my old dear friend from my Project Bluebird days will come through for us at NYU. Lucky that.
Just for our record so that we can know, we can use them in the future, of course. Who is it? What's your affiliation with them?
You know, I don't remember. Heather,
Project
What?
Bluebird, you said?
No, I said Project Art Check. No, I didn't. I said a different project. Project Flappy Bird is the project. Project Flappy Bird. You remember that one, Jer?
Oh yeah, that was gonna be big. Couple of decades.
Not
Wait,
MK
see.
Naomi.
No. MK Ultra, I don't know her.
That's not a person. But I'm sure all of the experiments that you performed during that, messed with your mind a little bit. I just wanted to make sure that we, in case we needed to run more tests in the future or expedited, we could be able to easily ensure that line could be pulled.
Wow.
Okay, but as you send this off, to quickly recap the lines of investigation that you have available to you right now. Also, you feel free to go completely off the rails. I'll just have to figure something out at that point. But there are two more people who have been reported missing. A Mark Watson, the producer, and a Lucy Whittaker, the scriptwriter. One reported missing, like in between going Mark Whitaker was reported missing after a day of shooting when he went to his house. So between arriving home and leaving the studio. And Lucy Whitaker was reported missing during a recording day, so missing from the studio itself. Wait, I think I got that twisted, and it's the other way
Lucy
around.
Whitaker witnesses saw her leaving the studio but did not arrive home. Mark Watson.
So I got that
during
twisted. Mark
the
was
test staging
during
at
the studio.
Yeah. No witnesses for him.
But yeah.
Well, it certainly does seem like all of these disappearances are connected in some way to the sex, drugs, and rock and roll puppets. So, suppose the question here is: do we want to investigate these other disappearances individually? Do we want to go in, perhaps undercover, and plant some bugs?
We also were going to ask Inspector Williams if anyone else had been in the apartment, according to my notes.
That's right. Yeah, we had let them know.
Yes,
with the
Inspector
officer.
Williams, who,
Mhm.
according
That is
to
actually-
So it might be good to start with, out of character, just as a suggestion. Feel free to ignore it, but it might be good to start with the investigating officer. We can get all of his notes and stuff before, so we don't like redundantly do stuff. Just so
Yeah,
that we-
agreed. Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
absolutely.
And then I think from there, right, going to the stage itself is probably not a bad move. That's where the last two people were seen, right?
Yeah. Let's should we split up?
yes, please split the party. You do know that according to the officer you met with, the inspector, detective actually, Williams is not was not in is not in town. So according to him, the detective went on a vacation.
That
Good.
seems oddly
Yeah.
timed.
Top-notch detective vacation in the middle of a case.
Or well, was called out on urgent business. Not necessarily a vacation, like more of a had to leave for a few days. He should be back in, according to the station. If you call, he should be back in 3 days.
Well, Adler, I'd certainly love to connect with your NYU contact and get an idea of this sedative that we might be able to process.
Well, absolutely. Can we head to NYU then?
I think that makes the most sense. We'll be able to pick up our forensic information and maybe do a little bit more digging.
All right. So I think we're going to head to NYU. I'm going to try and, in the kind of between time, run to a payphone and very covertly tell my contact to just meet us outside of their building on a bench and not wear their name tag.
How very cloak and dagger of you. I'm sure the CIA will be pleased.
Actually, Tav, even regardless would I know their face if I saw them?
If it was one of the main people investigated for MK Ultra, probably.
VJ, was this one of the main people, or was this one of the side persons?
Oh no, this is obviously one of the main people for MK Ultra.
Cool. Amber, given the fact that that Heather has been investigating this, and their criminology, I think that's criminology, or
Yeah.
for the longer term investigation, is a 50. I'll say that yes, you actually have a dossier on this person already, and well, I'll leave it up to you if this person has already been brought in for questioning by the FBI, or well, whoever you work for.
Yeah. No, I'll just make a mental note of it. Keep on checking.
Very good.
Meanwhile, Cassidy is gonna try to like comfort Heather a little bit because she
Aw.
seems so unsettled from the body. Look, I get we're all agents here, but you know, you are a civilian agent, so perhaps stuff like this doesn't come up as often for you as it does for me.
Yeah, no, nothing to this extent. You know, I mean, you see
Nothing to be ashamed about.
You see some real heinous shit come through the lab, you know, through the morgue. But I don't know, just the way that she was contorted, the way that she was stuffed up there, and like I'm trying to be like 3 steps ahead of this, and I can't even get my halfway to step 1. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. These things are hard. Seeing a human body turn into a pretzel isn't something you want to see every day.
No. I'm sure in the army, I'm sure like what you see in the army, it's nowhere near this though.
I work with explosives, ma'am. I've seen worse.
Oh shit.
Also, Nam.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Oh, all right. Yeah.
A lot of pretzels in Nam. Oh yeah.
Actually, that might be the reason why Cassidy uses an AK-47, because
It's fine. It's the same. It's the same stats.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
and I just realized that. But yeah,
Like you learn to live with it, but it never really gets better.
Well, hopefully we can get to the end of this mentally sound and start working.
Hopefully, I
through
can
it.
punch a hole in the face of whoever did that.
That works too. That absolutely works too. I'm not going to tell you.
It's
that.
kind of what I'm good at.
okay.
Someone has to be.
So, moving forward, is everyone going to this meeting with this professor or this doctor?
I don't see a reason for us to split up, so
Yeah, I think we're all together for this.
Okay. In that case, you will roll up to New York University, probably the like biology campus, sciences campus, where you meet with, well, Alice. Who is your contact?
My contact is Thomas Burns, a professor at NYU. It's his civilian name. But at the time that we worked together on MK Ultra, his name was Agent. Call him Agent Ash. So Agent Ash and I worked together on MK Ultra. Jerry might also know him in that case.
Yeah, probably.
But yes, the 3 of us worked together. Specifically, his area of expertise was finding formulas that were best suited to interrogations and coercing confessions.
So he was shit at that.
Well, it really...
I just recently listened up on MK Ultra, and most of the stuff there was just random shit they did because they thought the Russians could do it.
Well, look, you know, sometimes you're trying to get creative. You know, it's like interrogation's a little bit like jazz, baby. You know, you gotta try everything you can out there.
Sometimes you gotta get some paper clips in there.
Oh yes, the paper clips were phenomenal.
Anyway, He's meeting you outside, clearly a little nervous because he's sitting on a park bench, feeding the ducks as you come over. And does everyone just pile in on that bench with him?
I do. I absolutely do.
I mean, I was assuming that Alice would sit next to him, but is everyone joining you in this clandestine meeting, making it significantly less clandestine, or are you guys being covert about this?
I think I've at least handed the sample off to Alice to give to their contact.
Not being her area of expertise, Cassidy will defer to Alice to what she's supposed to do. Presumably keeping her distance and just keeping an eye out for any trouble. Correct me, if Alice would say something else, but...
Alice is very tempted to just pat the bench next to her, but no, you're right, covert. She will glare daggers at Heather the entire time, though.
I'm just gonna stay off to the side. I don't want to really be around this particular person. I'm just gonna keep an eye out. I'll be blissfully unaware of the daggers you're glaring at me. Just like.
And with that, so we've got Heather.
Actually, Tav, I want to actually specifically be on the lookout for that silver Chevy that's been following us.
Same.
We have Heather. So we have Heather and Cassidy being lookout. I'm assuming Jerry as well in that case?
No, Jerry's probably throwing almonds at some squirrels.
Okay, so we've
Honestly,
got
mood.
Cassidy and Heather on the lookout. So I would like, because if there was anything, this would be a post. So I would like alertness checks from the both of you. And
Gosh dang it!
oh, good to know. So as you are looking around, you don't seem to see anyone. BJ.
Mm-hmm.
Alice sits down next to him and goes, well, nice weather we're having here. Did you come to feed the ducks too?
No, I came to. Let me clarify. Is this us picking up the information about what was in the veins, or is this dropping it off?
And
Okay.
did you come to feed the ducks is his activation phrase. I'll let you figure out what the activation answer is.
Alice takes a very long drag off of her cigarette. Quack, quack.
He well, right. Well, I will have to leave soon. But I'll have to bring this with me. And he gestures at the bag of crusty old bread that he's been feeding to the ducks. Which, kids, if you're listening to this, don't feed crusty bread to ducks. It expands in their stomachs. But yeah, he indicates for you to put the samples in there. And as you do that, he gets up and he walks off.
Alice sits by herself for a second and says, I really quite like old Tommy. I really hope I don't have to kill him later. And I'll rejoin the others.
Very cool. So lab results should be back either today or tomorrow. I'm making a note here. Huge success. So you have your information here. Checking how much time we have for ads. Cool. You have your information now. What do you do next? It's afternoon, like 1 p.m. And you have 13 days remaining.
quick reminder that I do need a break in half an hour.
Yes.
Might not be bad to visit the theater, but maybe a little after everyone's gone.
Right. You would know that during the daytime, they're still doing setup, they're doing repetitions. So going during the daytime would mean that you have to tip your hand on the investigation. Going at night, you figure the theater's probably empty.
Do we have addresses for Mark Watson and Lucy Whitaker?
Yes, you do. Mark Watson lives in. Looking at the map. Oh, let's say that Mark Watson actually he's a producer on this, so he actually has a decent salary, and he actually lives in Manhattan, quite close to Central Park. This is the 70s. It's not as expensive yet.
It's like a wooden nickel to afford a nice apartment over there.
Lucy Whitaker, however, lives in the Bronx. But Lucy Whitaker was also found missing. Lucy Whitaker was found missing on her way to her home.
She was found missing, or last she was seen was leaving.
Missing. Yeah,
okay,
last seen
but she was
leaving
last
the
seen
studio.
leaving.
Yeah.
Well, how much you want to bet no one's checked their chimneys?
I think it's worth a look. We could. I mean, we're not too far from. Actually, Tav, any relation to Mark Watson for me?
Sorry,
you said
don't
last
know
time
what
no
you mean.
relation, but
Oh, okay. Well then.
I said no relation last time.
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
It's just a common name.
Also, sorry, just for my information, how do contested roles work?
Oh shit. Well, that is not good. I apparently have destroyed my keyboard when I knocked the glass of water over. My space key is now fucked.
Oh shit.
Put it in a big bag of rice. That's not good.
We'll figure that out eventually. That threw me off. Okay. I've destroyed one keyboard that way so far. This might be number 2. I destroyed the. But yeah. Sorry, I have to find my track again. You were asking about contested roles?
Yeah, how does that work?
Well, searching through the rules document doesn't really work when you don't have the space key. It's a post test, page 47. And a post test happens when someone takes action to interfere with the other player's action. This might be a player rolling an agent's human to sensitize in a suspect's persuade roll. By nature, opposed tests are very unlikely to succeed. Not only must you roll to succeed, but you must overcome the opposition's roll as well. So, yeah, that. But yes, what do you want to do?
So sorry, I'm not very familiar with New York. Still looking for a good BLT. Am I right? You know, are we closer to Manhattan? Are we closer to the Bronx? Are we?
We are in Manhattan at this point.
Oh shit! All right, okay, sweet. Well, why don't we take a visit over to Mark Watson's domicile? Get an idea of maybe he's left some sort of clues leading up to his disappearance.
At the very least,
good.
maybe. Yeah.
Sorry,
Hey,
you. What were you saying?
No, I was gonna say, I mean, since he's higher up than a makeup artist, perhaps he has maybe some production notes that we could leaf through.
Very true. And everyone, remember, we're being, this is a tight secret mission, and we need to be vigilant and aware. And you need to let me know if you see a BLT, a good deli, anywhere on the way. And I'd really appreciate that.
I will have to make a short eventually. That is just Jerry's quest for a BLT.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, Jerry. We will keep our ears open and our minds open. Sorry.
I always count on you, Alice.
A little bit addled. Anyway, heading to the producer.
You figure that's
Yeah.
probably the best course of action.
Who addles the Adler, I wonder?
Well, you know that famous old saying, Jerry. You can never be too paranoid.
Too true.
You understand me, Jerry.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, as you get ready to head over there, you it's about an hour. It's probably about an hour to get there, whether you want to by foot or by. I don't know where the university would be. Probably like half an hour to an hour by foot. And longer by car because rush. So you arrive at the apartment, and I mean it's not a skyscraper, but a high-rise building. There's a concierge at the desk. As you four walk in, and he looks up and says, sorry, you're not one of the residents. Stating the obvious.
Well, not yet, but that's why we're here. We're checking out the apartments on floor 72.
I'm sorry. All the apartments have already been rented out. But thank you for your interest. If that's all, I must ask you to move along. We wouldn't want you to disturb the tenants.
Jerry walks up. He says, no, we understand. We know that the apartments are all checked out right now, but we're looking for potentially in the future. Certainly you're not looking to turn away potential tenants down the road. We've recently had a talk with a friend of ours. I believe you might know him, of Mr. Watson. He seems to be seems to have expressed some interest in relocating. He let us know, didn't he, Alice? Didn't he let us know that his unit might become available at some point? Asked us to come take a look, but he did say talk to the most respected doorman that they've got. I believe, and I'm looking for a name tag. What's his name tag? Steve. Don't
Always
have him in
fucking Steve.
He said talk to Steve, the only doorman he can depend on in this whole building. And are you Steve? Steve. Jerry Dallas, nice to meet you, Steve. And I put out a hand.
Right. That's an out of character right, by the way. I'm just checking which of the skills is bullshitting people, because this is bullshitting.
No, come on. Jerry's a friendly guy.
Ooh.
Friendly guy.
I'll give you persuade. And no, you're not getting this for free. You're going to have to try.
Oh boy.
Because that's a bullshit story you're spinning.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't let me be the persuade guy in the future.
No, maybe.
We'll see how this
No,
goes.
it's so
My
fun to watch you try.
My persuade is so high.
Okay, well, if there's some way for Alice to help me with this persuade, I'll
Nope.
appreciate that. Because
Nope,
here comes
you
the
were
roll.
spearheading this one.
Oh, I read it
Yeah,
the other
so
way.
he
Yeah,
looks at you
61.
and raises an eyebrow and says, "Sorry, so I couldn't possibly confirm or deny if any tenants lived here, but if you were to want to inspect one of the apartments for renting, you'd have to take that up with the tenancy company. I'm not at liberty to give you access." And
Don't we have a warrant?
for this apartment, heck no.
Yeah, Jerry
You could
doesn't have a
go-
badge.
You could go see a
Fuck.
judge.
If someone has a badge, it's not a bad time to flash a badge.
Yeah, Miss FBI agent.
All I've
Yeah,
got
I
is my
just-
military is my military tags. I don't think that's gonna help
Alright.
here.
Right, and an
Yeah.
M15.
That might
All right,
help.
I think
I'd like to see the apartment, please.
Heather's going to roll her eyes like, bless Uncle Jerry, bless his poor little heart, and just be like, all right, let's try this. And so I'm going to flash my FBI badge and be like, this is official FBI business, Mr. Steve. We need to
Oh.
get into that apartment. This could potentially hurt others in this apartment building.
Go ahead and give me another persuade from you this time.
Please. Let's fucking
Nice.
Hell yeah!
Good.
I think
Uh,
only my second success in this fucking game.
Yeah, so he, as you start talking and as you flash the badge, he looks at it and, well, I'm afraid that I still can't let you in without a war. And then you say the magic words, could possibly hurt someone. Oh, really? What? There isn't anything. He hasn't been in for a while. You're not saying he's keeping anything dangerous in his apartment, are you?
Well, I don't know,
We
Mr.
can
Steve.
neither.
That's what we're going in there to find out.
Well, this is a bit irregular, but I suppose. Okay. Yeah, follow me. And he starts walking.
Thank you
He
very
starts walking over to the elevator. The elevator dings up. You all follow him, and you end up on the 7th floor of the high-rise, walking towards the apartment, where he pulls out one of those master keys, pulls the door open, and as you step in, this is the apartment of a madman. Walls covered in writing, different photographs pinned up to the wall, pieces of string in between them, writing, some small writing, some massive writing over the wall that stuff like he's always watching, the puppets move. Remember, and finally, one in a big one, but all kinds of smaller text around it, saying similar things to the shouting about the puppets and about the thing that watches is beware the mystery guest. And the doorman is looking over your shoulder, eyes grow wide, and he goes,
Steve, we've got it from here. Please go.
Cassidy will physically push him gently, but physically push him back a little bit and be like, I don't think this is a place for civilians, sir. You might want to go back downstairs.
Heather will also give him like 20
Oh,
bucks and be
okay.
like, go get some shots for yourself.
And a BLT.
You just saw
And a
someone
BLT.
you just saw someone fail a sanity check as he just goes okay, and as he starts walking off.
Shit,
Okay,
do we have
the
to do something
Schatzel.
first?
I would like to step into the room first and check if there's nothing like no traps or dangerous anything or anything that could blow up in our faces.
Right.
That's a good
Fair.
shout.
You got a good point. Another alertness check, please. Which is
All of us?
posed by something. No, the person who just walked into the room. Where are my dice?
I didn't really walk in very far, just over the.
No. This is
Over
to see if you spot a thing.
You walked in, but you didn't walk in. I get you.
I walked in, but only
Nice.
like a step over the whatever you call
Threshold.
the doorway. There we go. Yes. Hey, I succeeded. I think that might be
Nice.
my second success in this entire game so far.
Look at that. Our luck turns finally.
Don't jinx it.
Knock on wood.
I succeeded and
nothing on
got a
that space bar,
35.
Okay, apparently that doesn't work. I'll have to roll manual dice for that later. Luckily, I have many dice. This is not a very good dice tray. Okay. That was a good roll. A good long roll. However, a failure. At the very least, opposed to you. So, as you start to step in, you are just in time to see a small glint on the floor, and then you look down, and there's a piece of fishing wire that's been stretched from one side of the door to the other side of the door. So, not stepping in very far wouldn't have saved you there. Because as you step forward and you see that, you look around the door, and there is a hand grenade mounted to the side of the door with the wire attached to it.
Okay, you three need to step back. There's a grenade.
Oh.
She says that with like total calm. Like
And as she
the
says
switch in her brain has flipped to like demolitions expert mode, and like, okay. Yeah, I was gonna describe, because I assume that this person isn't the demolitions expert that she is, and just rigged something fairly amateurish, so she's going to try to step over any like tripwires or anything.
Yeah,
Go
there's
over
just
to the
one
grenade.
tripwire about ankle height that you can easily step over. Disarming
then
it
she's
is
gonna-
going to be an opposed check.
She's gonna what?
Disarming
Well,
it
what
would be
I
an
was gonna
opposed
describe,
check.
I was gonna describe what I was gonna do. I was gonna just hold the grenade, hold the pin in place, and then cut, so the pin can't move out of the grenade.
Yeah, that's reasonable. You don't even need a check for that. That's just knowing how grenades work.
Much. 'Cause,
yeah.
like if this was like an actual bomb, it would be a whole different story. But because it's just some grenade, some guy rigged up with a tripwire, I
Yeah.
figure she would be able to, stop it from unhooking the pin by tripping the tripwire.
Yeah, as you look at it, this is a standard design, like 1960s grenade. So it's one of the old-fashioned like round ball grenades, an M26. Probably like military surplus. And well, yeah, technically incredibly illegal for for someone to have, but also
Right.
kind of easier to get, given the fact that America has been at war for the last 10 years.
So The three of you see this 6'4" brick stack house of a woman deftly step in over a tripwire into the apartment, disappear around the corner. The tripwire goes slack, and she comes back out with a grenade in her hand, a sort of disapproving look. I've got better ones.
Is there
You
like a
have to-
role to be gay?
Well, I think it's
Human
my type exactly, so you know.
Amber, this system allows you to choose to be gay.
It's not a choice.
It's not a choice, Mom.
Okay, this system allows you to choose to be gay for a certain person.
As we said at the start, intercharacter flirting is fine by me. Anyway, she tucks it into her duffel bag and turns back to you. Well, looks like that was it.
Good catch, Cassidy.
Oh my god.
We were about to walk. We almost walked right into that.
Yeah, psychotherapy. Those of you with over 40 psychotherapy, the person who did this is clearly incredibly paranoid. But there's a hint in there of you know the old saying, it's not paranoid if they're actually out to get you. There's a hint in there that they weren't paranoid to begin with. They've been turned paranoid.
Alice feels a very strange kinship now to this man. So what do you say, Cassidy? Do you think it's safe-ish for us to enter
Have an
now?
alertness tell me if there's anything else dangerous in the apartment.
Yeah.
As you look around, the apartment itself seems to be clear. Like this grenade seems to have been the only booby trap. However, what you would suggest not opening any cupboards or drawers, because there might be additional booby traps inside them. But the room itself seems to be clear.
Yeah, just don't go opening any doors and drawers and things without
checking.
me having a look at it, just in case, because I doubt we're gonna find clues to how he died in a cabinet anyway, but should be fine. She seems totally casual about the whole thing, like grenades, whatever.
It's so I think Heather's still gonna like, just to be careful, take her heels off as she goes through this apartment and like put them in her like backpack or whatever. Just not gonna, we're gonna flat foot through this fucking place.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the writing right on the walls. I want to get an idea of what was used to write it, and then actually as I'm looking at it, I'm gonna call over Alice, during your tenure, this type of writing, this scrawl seem familiar, induced chemically by chance, or just a mental break in someone? What do you think?
Tab, should I roll pharmacy or psychotherapy or something else?
I mean, I'll give you with your psychotherapy that you would realize that this, as you start reading over it, this isn't the Alex. You would realize that all of this is written in like permanent marker. So he has just scrawled across the walls in permanent marker. There's nothing in his own blood or other bodily fluids. As far as anything goes. Also, hello to Lost Caravan RPG. Welcome to the stream, and thank you for the raid.
Oh.
Hey, Darcy, how are you
Welcome
doing?
everybody.
I figured Darcy is in there. I hope you guys had a fun time. But yes, so rewind real quick. You realize that the scroll on the walls, I mean, it's clearly associated with some form of mental break. This is someone who has clearly become deranged. But as you start looking over everything, you realize when the scrawling on the wall starts, he was already broken. You figure that if there are any more details to get, you would have to get them in like any notepads he has, any other documents, and that would require a thorough search of the apartment itself, searching through like searching through cabinets, drawers, and stuff. Which for Nev, for Cassidy, as you start looking through all of this, it'd be an alertness check. I'd say +20 because you're alerted to the fact that there were already explosives in there.
Okay.
Where a success means everything's fine, you are able to open everything without trouble. A failure would mean potentially overlooking something. Speaking of, I'm going to make a quick look roll.
Just to be safe, she's put on her tactical combat vest that she had in her bag.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, just in case something blows up in her face, now that she knows there are explosives in here.
Yeah, very cool.
How do I click to roll +20? Do I just roll a 20?
Oh, wait, I accidentally rolled for you. Ignore that one. I also rolled for Heather. I think you just roll and then I'll add 20 in my mind.
Why are you rolling for me?
Or actually, it should be removing 20, I guess, right? Or is it
technically, it removes 20 for the roll or it adds 20 to the target.
Okay, well, my target current, if plus 20%, my target would be 90, just FYI.
Yeah. So there's 2 chances for a critical fumble. A 99 and a 100.
I rolled a 38.
Critical fumble. Okay, I can now reveal that you were unlucky when I rolled the luck test. As you start sniffing through, but you weren't critically unlucky. So you start sniffing through and opening up various cabinets, pulling out files that everyone can start looking through. But then there's one thing you realize as you pull out the desk drawer and you tap, 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 tap. It sounds hollow, and you get ready to click down. You start seeing if you can find any buttons. Get ready to click down, and then something catches you as you go, wait, and you reach under the drawer, and you feel this. You feel another contraption. This time, not an actual, not a real grenade, but like a flare that is strapped to the bottom of the drawer with a piece of string going up through a little hole in the drawer. Like if you were to pull it up, a flare would go off and burn whatever is inside
burn what's
there.
in it. Yeah, so it's not going to hurt us. It's just going to burn what's in the drawer. Okay.
It's just going to destroy what's in the drawer. By the way, in the meantime, while this is happening, all of you are able to start poring over the documents that have been released.
I also go ahead.
No, go.
I was gonna say, could I take a blacklight to anything in the room, like in the main space too, with where all of like the writing and everything is on the wall?
Yes, absolutely. You can do that.
Just totally what I was thinking.
Yeah, Cassidy will leave open anything she's already checked for explosives and traps, so you guys will know which ones you can check and which ones you cannot. And she's just methodically going over everything. And can I crawl under the desk to figure out how to disarm it so the flare doesn't go off?
We'll get to that in a sec. Because Amber, while I'm assuming Alice and Jerry go over the documents that have been released, you start going through the room with a blacklight, which probably is screwing with Cassidy because you need the lights off for that. Um, so you start going over things, and honestly, you don't really seem to find anything. Let me double check if a certain bodily fluid shows up under black light. Not one of those two. Those two I know show up under black light. It's not one of those two.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I've seen enough Room Raiders. I've watched enough MTV in my day. I know.
Your every hotel room.
Okay, yes, actually, this would show up under black light. Cool. So as you start going through the room, nothing in there. Going over the kitchen table, nothing in there. Then you quickly go through the bathroom with the black light, and you see a very noticeable and easily distinguished splatter pattern around the toilet from someone who has been vomiting, and that has been cleaned up, but not cleaned up with bleach. So there's still saliva in there. It's very lightly glowing. So definitely not blood, but yeah, that is what you find. And based on the fact that it's still visible, it's probably like it's probably only been there for a few days. I would call that forensics to pin the date down.
A what?
It's only
forensics.
been there,
Okay.
Yeah, it's only been there for a little over a week.
That's a 2, baby.
Cool. Yeah. So you're getting a very good result here as you start looking over it, and you go, wait, this has been here exactly 1 day before he went missing, like probably the night before he went missing.
Oh.
And then you start looking at the wall scribble, and you realize a thing that you hadn't realized, none of you had realized before. The wall scribble also is probably not that old. It's also probably from the same night.
So, okay, my own personal pin board. He probably got so. Oh, you know what? I mean, barring anything eldritch, that obviously my character wouldn't know. But the smell of too many Sharpies can really make you sick. So I mean, if you're
the thing that you're figuring is it's more likely he figured something out and the realization made him vomit rather than anyway, quickly going over what Alex and Vijay find, with Geraldo and Alice find. You start running through what are clearly scripts that have been multiple iterations of scripts, all with notes in them. Some of them there's 3 different handwritings in them. One matches the writing on the wall, probably Mark's. The 2 others, one is loopy and for lack of a better word, which would actually be fitting in the 60s, like women's handwriting, like very
like almost like shorthand or something.
Oh,
almost like shorthand, recognizable as potentially from a scriptwriter. And then the last one is blocky and erratic, and you would think, based on your forensics and psychotherapy, this seems to be the writing of someone who isn't entirely together there anymore. It's like hectically written. Also, those seem to be suggestions to put in things that are completely random, that don't really fit with the story at hand. And the one that really gets your attention is, we need a dragon puppet find me a dragon puppet. And then specs behind it that they want it to be at least 3 meters long so that it can be held up by multiple people, similar to one of those Chinese dragons. But it has to be a Western dragon, and it has to look sufficiently goofy.
Dragon puppet, 3 meters long. That what?
Very strange. Which of the writing is it? The blocky writing that's just like asking for random
It's the
weird
unhinged
shit?
blocky writing.
The unhinged.
That's asking for the dragon puppet, and then there's a bit of writing under there. Note to self check. Local customer custom stores, and then an annoyed note underneath it, once again in Mark's handwriting. If only he wouldn't fucking ask changes. If only he wouldn't ask changes 3 weeks before we go live.
3 weeks. Do we think that this is the timeline we're working with? That this is when everything, for lack of a better phrase, went tits up at the sex puppet show?
So
That's a very good question. And as you ask yourself that question, we go to Cassidy, who's trying to disarm a flare. So, explain how you do that.
Well, first I'd like to crawl under the desk and see how it's connected to the trap, what's going to trigger it. If it's the same thing as the grenade, more or less, then she's going to try the same trick.
Right. This one seems to be like duct taped under the drawer.
Desk.
Under the
Yeah.
drawer. And there's a little hole drilled in the drawer that has a little bit of string go through it and go directly into the flare. However, this time it's like covered. It's covered with duct tape, and it's not that easy to get to. Speaking of, another luck roll. Cool.
I hate that.
Cassidy's gonna pull out her knife out of her boot and try and cut around, holding the flare in place so it doesn't move. She's gonna cut around it so the duct tape comes off.
Okay, I would like you to make me a demolitions check, plus 20 again, because this is still rather
That's a success because my plus 20 is
It's
80.
success. Cool. In that case, you once again find out that you were unlucky on your luck roll, as a second detonator has been affixed to it on the other side that you had missed in your initial look through. But when you start trying to wedge it loose, the second detonator, you see it just before you would be pulling it out, and snip, and you now have access to a road flare, as well as you
Nice.
push down 2 buttons, and the desk, a little bit under the desk, a false drawer opens up, and it pulls a bit of string with it, which you realize would have triggered the thing. And then inside the desk, what you see is, first off, 2 bottles that have large flammable labels on them, and in between them, another manuscript, like stacks of paper. And question: does Cassidy speak French?
Nope.
Cool. In that case, you don't have to make a roll.
Amber
Worry about it.
does.
Yeah. So you, what do you do as you do this?
She crawls out from under the desk again, holding a flare in her hand, and sort of like shows it to everyone again with the most nonchalant attitude of amateur.
Cassidy is so
And-
badass. Yes.
I would like to respectfully check out Cassidy.
Respectfully.
Respectful.
Respectfully, mommy. Sorry,
Mom.
mother.
That is
Apologies.
that is kind of what I built her as. So. Anyway, she then holds out the bottles and the drawers to everyone else because she does not read French and she is not a chemist, so she can't exactly tell everything that's gonna be in this drawer. So the whole drawer she holds out to everyone else.
Okay, so Alex, you do know chemicals.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is going to be significantly more interesting. You do know chemicals, and these are 2 bottles of probably like lighter fluid. Like, if this flare had gone off, this room would be ablaze. Like, not immediately, but relatively quickly. Like, this would have exploded both of the lighter fluid bottles, covered stuff in lighter fluid, and then the like 60s high carpet would have gone up, and then probably the building. Like, this is 60s building codes, so probably good that you successfully did the thing.
Explosives extra
Cassidy,
value.
Proud of you.
Add this to the tab of favors I owe you.
So the second thing, Heather is able to read French, right?
No, Amber know French. I can't think of an in-story reason for her to know French.
Oh, okay. So Heather doesn't know French. Cool. In that case, you don't know what it says.
On my character sheet, because of my skills, I was allowed to get 2 languages. I took Spanish as one. I took Muppet as the other as a joke. Can I retcon that choice?
Yeah, absolutely you can. You absolutely can make the mistake of hey, don't worry about it. Yes, you can. Does your character speak Old French though?
I feel like she can't, but she's a little off kilter, so she thinks she can.
I will say this: it's close enough that I'll let you make a foreign language check.
No.
So, you that's just for you not being able to immediately read it, because it's Old French. It's close enough to modern French that with a bit of time, you'll be able to read it. So, how interested is Alice in this? Does she actually put in the effort to read it?
Does it appear to be in any of the similar handwritings that we've seen, or is this different?
Yes. In fact, there's specifically, this is once again a part of a script for the Muppet Show, and the script seems very similar. It seems to be the 3rd act, and yes, gambits are not a thing. It seems to be a 3rd act script, third act of a script for the Muppet Show. In fact, the part where the mystery guest is revealed. And there are notes in there in the same handwriting, although slightly less deranged at this point. The thick, blocky handwriting. That add some notes in French to it, in Old French. Otherwise, it's just English.
Is this who I think it is?
I have a guess. VJ has a guess.
I mean, feel free to make your guess.
Oh, Alice wouldn't know. Would have no idea.
Out of character, feel free to make your guess. I'm always interested to hear.
I'm clueless. I'm super curious.
Is it Miss Piggy?
No.
Okay.
No, I was thinking Cthulhu Lord. This sounds like the King in Yellow to me, because script that drives people nuts.
Yeah.
3rd act where a mystery guest shows up.
As you start reading this, and start to get a bit more invested, Alice, and just Alice, I would like you to make me a sanity test.
Oh, well, I do those every morning when I wake up. No worries.
Oh dear.
Where on the... There we are. Oh, I did not
Wow.
pass my sanity check.
Very
Oh,
cool. You do
what
not
a
take
twist
sanity
of fate.
damage.
Actually, you want to fail your sanity check, so you did it
That's
good.
right.
No, actually, this is a sanity check you don't want to fail.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't take sanity damage. That's good news. The
Mhm.
bad news is that you find yourself transfixed as you start translating the notes that have been made. And well, all of it, you all hear her starting to mutter to herself. The most important bit of the muttering that you hear is at the end, when the mystery guest is revealed. And there is a single line in there that she mutters out, where Kermit, Yusa should unmask. Stranger, indeed. Kermit, indeed, it is time. We have all laid aside disguise but you. Kermit, stranger, I wear no mask. Kermit, terrified, aside to Gonzo, no mask? No mask! And you are, you find yourself incredibly intrigued by all of this, and you find yourself wanting to read more of the original script.
Mhm.
And you don't want to let go of this bit of the script either. This is some of the most interesting writing you've ever read.
Mhm.
It is the King in Yellow,
It is absolutely the King in fucking Yellow. Yeah.
word for word, except for Kermit.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, my old
In fact,
friend. Buster.
all of you, go ahead and give me occult checks again as she starts muttering this.
Thank you for the hydration check, Rosie.
Oh, by the way, you're now at a plus 20.
Holy crap! I am so bad at it, and I rolled an 8.
Critical failure.
Critical failure on Jerry. So
Yes, sir.
not only have you got no, actually plus 20. I said plus 20 on the target, so that's a critical success for Jerry.
Hey.
As
Oh, plus
Jerry
20 for
starts
the target?
putting, yeah, the target's at plus 20. So Alice has a success as she's reading this. Cassidy
Oh, I have a success.
fails.
Nope.
And
I
Alice,
don't fail.
wait, plus 20. Let me double check. Cassidy.
I rolled an 8, man.
You rolled an 8?
Cassidy
She's good.
Cassidy succeeds. Heather succeeds with a plus 20.
By 1 point.
And Alice succeeds. And Jerry critically succeeds. As Cassidy, Heather, and Alice begin to realize, that sounds familiar to something. And the three of you start to pull things together with like old case reports, actual like history, historical mentions that the king that this play, these lines were from a play that one is considered to be a Delta Green Delta Green Code Omega threat. One of the as this play hasn't resurfaced recently, but when the last time it was performed in France, it caused multiple people to go insane, die, either killing themselves or taking their own lives or taking the lives of others. Very much not good stuff. Which was covered up / explained by ergot poisoning. Which is also where Jerry has worked with ergot. It's the base component for LSD. and it's also the reason that witch hunts probably happened in France, in medieval era France, because it makes you go completely wacky, and then you start thinking this neighbor is a witch. However, in this case, you did some studying up on specific cases of ergot poisoning in France when you were studying this. And one thing that you remember reading is multiple people in this town, when they were talking about that play and the consequences of that play to the people who lived in that village. Multiple reports were made of creatures that that seemed to be able to pass through walls, that were gaunt, leathery winged beasts with claws very similar to the claw markings on heather. You don't necessarily know what they're called, except for one thing that that they were called by the French, which is, quickly opens up Google Translate to translate to French. Les choses ailées, winged things.
I'm sorry, that pronunciation was garbage.
I mean, feel free to correct me, Amber.
No, because I got dunked on last night for speaking French.
No. Go ahead, correct me. If you're going to
You're
call
like,
out my
I must
pronunciation,
dump someone
I'm going
else.
to call you out.
It's like
So,
paying it forward.
Yeah.
What would these? How would these be pronounced?
Pay the dunk forward.
Les choses ailées.
Good enough. I dropped French as soon as I could.
I took 7 years.
So did I, and I forgot everything.
But yes, winged things.
Well, I've certainly heard of chasing the dragon, but this is rather new to me.
Should we report this in?
Yeah, I would think this is a high level threat. This is huge.
This is a big boy threat, yes.
Amber, are you doing a bit? Or are you?
No, I think I kind of like put pieces together, and so I didn't want to like spoil. Okay, sorry.
Feel free to PM me, Amber.
Look, last time this made a resurgence in France. We studied the effects of ergot poisoning. The bait, Alice, you know, the base
Yes.
ingredient in LSD. It's
Intimately familiar.
Why am I'm suddenly English a little bit? That's not what I meant. But we should report this in. We should report this in,
Yes.
shouldn't we?
Yes, of course. We have ergot, ergo, we should report this in.
Okay. So, is there anything else you want to do? Are you okay, Amber?
Let me ask, what's the chimney situation in this apartment? He got a sort of chimney adjacent orifices in his home.
Please don't talk about Mark's orifices. But no.
Tell me about
this
Mark's
is
holes.
like a 60s construction, 60s era high-rise building. It probably has like central heating. No, it doesn't have like it doesn't have a chimney that even one of those winged things could come in through.
And nothing. We're not picking up a scent of death. Nothing. No.
No, you're not picking up anything at all on that front.
Okay, that's disappointing.
I will saying one thing, you will notice that Alice has started going through all of the papers again, trying to see if she can find any more mentions of this French. And I'm sad to say, Alice, you can't. But you got a feeling that you know where there might be more of this play that you really want to read about.
Alice, are you okay?
Oh, I'm just spiffy. We've got a new lead. We've got information. You disarmed a bomb. Everything is totally fine. I think we should go to the theater, and I think I need to inspect the rest of the scripts to make sure that they don't violate any sort of censors that are out there that are very important. And yes, I think that's what we need to do.
With my familiarity with the effects, right, of exposure to this, am I picking anything up from Alice?
What you got was from an occult check, which is basically the human overlay over the insane. So you don't really get any of the significant like magical effects of books. So you wouldn't know that this forces you to continue reading it until you've read it and gone absolutely insane.
Yes. So, sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
So, I will. I guess that's an opposed psychotherapy versus. Are you trying to hide this, Alice? I'm assuming Alice is trying to hide this.
Yeah, I don't think she has the wherewithal to try and keep from doing that. So,
it's her being.
It's calling to me now.
So I figure that's an opposed psychotherapy. Actually, no, that's human. Human versus what's the check to lie again? Human versus persuade, I guess.
Persuade? Yeah, I think that covers a lot of different.
Yeah, because
so
I was looking if there was like a bluff. So Alice has succeeded on persuading, which means anyone who wants to figure out if Alice is anyone who wants to know anything here would have to roll below a 45 and a success.
Why not?
What are we rolling? Human.
Human.
Why are you all looking at me so strangely? I'm just
Hold on, wait.
smoking.
Tab, I'm gonna argue that those dice were cocked.
No. Go ahead and mark human.
Why are you all looking at me so strangely? I'm just
Guess I could
chain
try,
smoking
but
in a highly comfortable room.
Nah.
Cool.
You usually
Cool.
don't have any sense, but you usually have more sense than that.
Honestly, what you're getting.
Can I argue for something? Considering we know what it does when people are exposed to it as a performance.
Because you don't know what this does.
No, we just know about Earth.
That would be succeeding on a natural check, not succeeding on an occult check, and none of you have the unnatural skill. I think.
But we know that when it's performed, people go nuts. Can we infer something that reading it might also be bad?
From what I understood, right, we don't necessarily know that people go crazy from it. We just know there's something related to the effects of LSD.
Correct. So there's a story of this play having been performed, and there's clearly something wrong with it. I did do a quick check of your character sheets, and Geraldo does have the unnatural skill. So given the fact that you just succeeded your occult check, I'll give you a natural let's say a +10.
Cool. 10 added on a 10. So
a 1 in 5 chance.
Sure, let's see.
Well,
You can't say I didn't give you the roll. Mark that one. Actually, you don't mark a natural.
Nope.
So as you as you're trying to think through this, those files are classified. Like the actual what this play is, that's classified. You don't have access to that. And honestly, she's hiding it very well. None of you see through the fact that Alice has turned from her usual spooky self to a slightly more spooky self.
I definitely take a note of that. Easily susceptible to bouts
No,
of
like you
obsession.
don't take a note of that because she's better at hiding it than you are at detecting it.
Oh fuck! I'm a doofus.
Right.
No,
Well,
I'm just
and-
very interested in this case now. It's
I think we're past the censorship board, though.
yes, but you have to understand. I'm now very puppet horny, and I want to finish this case.
I take the note down very puppet horny.
it's block lettering, puppet horny, underline.
Previously unsaid sentences in human history.
I think we need to go report this in before we do anything else, just in case we fail. You know, because this should not ever be broadcast ever. That seems like a bad plan.
Oh, I think it would be perfectly acceptable with a few edits here and there.
I don't
Okay.
know, but
So my reading here is you guys want to report this into Delta Green, just in case you fail at stopping whatever this is, and you want to investigate further. Specifically, Alice wants to investigate further, but you already had a plan to go to the studio after dark to do so. Cool. Cool.
So report first. Before we do
What?
anything else, we report in first.
Yes, you do. So you start making your way out, having collected all of the information that is necessary. Don't worry about it, Alex.
definitely don't like me say that
there's
either.
definitely nothing suspicious going on.
Oh yeah.
I don't trust that evil laugh.
VJ doesn't trust that evil laugh, but Alice likes it.
Y'all, what do you do to me? But
It's
yes,
what you do to us.
Oh, baby.
All right, we got
He's
broke it.
transforming.
Instant
We got two
karma
people.
there.
we got two people that gotta leave in 15 minutes. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's wrap this up.
Yes. Okay. So first off, there's the first thing that you do is you get in touch with your handler, or well, not your handler, like one of the handlers in one of the Delta Green handlers in New York City, and you set up a meet in actually you set up a meet in a bodega, where you as you walk in,
Can we check? Can we check if we're being followed by a silver Chevy?
I was going to say, one, I want alertness checks from everyone. And this is going to be more relevant for some than to others.
Wait,
Oh,
are
I
we
failed
still
by
at plus
one.
20?
No. Yeah, sure. I'll give you plus 20 because you guys are starting to get more and more paranoid. So, Jerry, your alertness gives you that this bodega definitely has a BLT.
My word.
Meanwhile, the rest of you, that's one success and another success and a final success. But they're all not very good successes, so let me check a little thing. Don't worry about it. I would roll these dice if you were followed or if you weren't followed, just so you can't infer anything from the fact that I'm rolling dice. Oh, cool. You're not followed. As you go into the bodega, where you meet Mr. Smith, your handler. Also say hi to Loki.
Hi, Loki.
Hi, Loki.
So you here meet Mr. Smith, your handler, who is Loki was triggered by the dice. You meet Mr. Smith, your handler, who is your classical spook. Like he wears a gray trench coat, gray suit, older fellow, kind of like a face that has seen some stuff. Gray hair, briefcase, and he walks up to the deli counter as you are standing there debating your order, and he says, "I'll have a chopped cheese, please." Your code phrase. And the counter code is a bodega order, so you tell me what, let's say, who's the person who would have the direct contact with this handler? Even it's Amber, odd is VJ. Even. So your handler, Amber, asks you, says, "I'll have the chopped cheese, please," to the bodega clerk. What sandwich order does Amber make, and what sandwich order does Heather make in response to tell him that there's something seriously wrong and they need to cancel the play?
Oh my god. Yeah, I would like a bacon, egg, and cheese. Hold the Taylor ham.
Excellent. Your order is being made. You pay for it, and the spook waits there, picks up the order, and just without paying you any mind, walks off. But the message has been received. So we roll forward a bit because I have a specific endpoint in mind. Oh wait, yes, Alex.
You're not gonna tell me how good this BLT is? What's the thickness of the bacon? What's the
With a critical
are the tomatoes?
success.
Are the lettuce?
Alex.
Is the lettuce fresh? Come on.
Alex, my man.
Yeah.
Do you or do you not have a hard stop time? A hard stop.
Yes, I do.
I'll roll a luck roll, real quick. I've got bad news for you. It's 67. The bacon is limp and not properly fried. The tomato is a day old, and the bread is like a bit too old and crusty. It has bacon, it has lettuce, and it has tomato, but it's not a real good BLT.
You know
Meanwhile,
what?
Amber, your sandwich, oh god, a 95. Undercooked egg.
You know what? We should report this place to Delta Green. The food here is awful. Christ. Just throws it in the trash.
Cool. But we're going to fast forward now. It is night. 13 days still remain. It is night when you find your way to the Muppet Theater. The doors are locked. Inside seems to be dark. What do you do?
I mean, I could force entry, or we could try and find a window open.
I say we go the window route. No need to alert them with a broken lock just yet.
Alice puts away her gun.
Okay.
That's sensible.
Very cool. As you start moving your way around the surrounding, I would like everyone to make me a stealth check. Note, you don't all need to succeed on this, just more than half.
I can't wait to, fail this one.
More than half? No, well, it's no, never mind.
Exactly half.
Exactly half of the critical failure.
That's a critical failure.
Jesus.
I mean, have you
So-
seen how big she is?
So, as you all start looking
have.
around the Muppet Theater, you actually do find a window that is open. It's on the it's on the first floor, so it does require all of you getting a boost to get in, probably from Cassidy.
Yep.
But you are all pushed up to the window by Cassidy as you enter into what seems to be the writer's room. Then Cassidy is pulled up as well into the window, and you are now all inside the Muppet Theater. Alice, I would like another sanity check from you. As all of you start looking around, and Alice, you run into some more bits of writing that seem to have the same old French in it. A couple of it actually translated to English now, where you start catching more snippets of this play. Alice, at this point, is out of commission for a bit as she is trying to read through all of this faster and faster. Let me think if this is enough to actually start your first steps into insanity.
Loving the insanity dance, by the way.
Bout me,
Yes.
daddy.
Right, yep, there we go.
Not quite yet.
God
But
damn
you're
it.
but there are starting to be mentions of a set change for the last act to something called Lost Carcosa.
Of course there is.
Can
The rest
I
of you,
start?
what do you do as this is going on?
Can we say that she is now definitely sus enough for us to be like, this isn't normal?
Can I start to
Opposed-
read the script out loud?
Opposed persuade by Humant. Again. Alice is literally the worst person for you guys to have gotten this, because she is actually good at hiding stuff. You need to
And
roll
I'm
beneath
always a little
38
bit
and
weird.
succeed.
And Alice is already kind of a freak, so.
Are we all
Fuck.
rolling human, or is it just someone?
All of you can roll Humant. You need to roll below a 38 and you need to succeed. Both.
I mean, I succeeded. Fuck, damn.
That doesn't get
Shit.
it.
Shit
Opposed
balls.
tests are very much in the favor of the person you're making the opposed test against. Nope.
Nope.
I guess I'll try. Nah, no way.
Well,
That's the closest you could have gotten, but
have
Jerry
very low
is
humans.
not is not a spook. Jerry doesn't see through this. But yes, you all do hear her murmuring some of the other phrases. Honestly, at which point I would like all of you to make me a sanity test. This is enough to start to pull you guys in as well. Cool. Heather is unaffected. You're all unaffected. So,
I am the most unaffected.
Alice is reading through all of these, and she's clearly just she's clearly just doing her investigative work. She's clearly going over things to make sure that there's nothing problematic in these scripts that should be stricken out. She's actually making. She's actually already. It seems like she's pointing out the things that should be stricken, which is very good. Very good of her. She's being very professional about this all. What are the rest of you doing in the meantime?
Check costumes.
You're going to check the costumes department. Is anyone going with you?
Well,
Or
Cassidy
are
is
you
not. Cassidy is not the paper person, so and since Alice has an easy out through the window that's open if she needs to flee, I think Cassidy's gonna follow Heather for bodyguard purposes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will point out she has her bag with all her stuff with her, and she is wearing a vest under her shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Jerry's checking out the stage.
I want to look at costumes, but I also want to see if I can find like the stage manager's like desk area, whatever.
Actually, for reasons I'll come back to you in a sec, Jerry. However, as the two of you start to head towards costumes.
And I do have my pistol out.
Cool. So the two of you head towards costumes. Who goes in first?
Me.
Okay. You open the door to the costumes department, and you walk into. As you step in, you walk into one of those big costume holders, and it collapses over, making this clanging noise. And you cover it real quick. You try to look around if someone has heard you. At which point, you look into the. Heather hasn't entered the hallway yet, entered the costume department yet. So you look in the hallway. There's no sign of Heather.
Oh, come on. I don't even get an alertness check.
Nope.
It's because I can't be here next week.
I know, but
Speaking
still.
How does Cassidy react to this? And I'll give you an alertness check to see if you can see if you hear anything.
What the fuck just happened? Yeah. What happened to Heather?
Go ahead
Where'd
and give
she
me an
go?
alertness check. Okay. So you don't see anything. But right as you turn around the corner to look outside, you hear what can only be described as a high-pitched squeal. As you hear footsteps running away and rounding the corner.
Can I tell which direction they went, or is that a no because Amber can't be here next week?
Well, put it like this: you can. It's heading in the direction of the stage, but as you turn the corner towards the stage, it's empty and quiet. No one seems to be here.
Well, shit.
It's going to get even worse because do you go back to report?
Yeah.
Awesome. As you come back into the office, the writer's room, what you find is both Geraldo and Alice unconscious on the floor. No clean distinguishing marks on them. Just lying there unconscious.
Okay.
And with that, we're going to end today's session of It's Not Easy Being Delta Green. But before that happens, we're going to go into a quick aside, something seen by the audience, but not by the players. As we see a lab in university in a university building, where a man dressed in a tweed jacket is walking in. Dr. Tommy, was it, right? He looks up as the man walks in, and turns around and says, "Hey, you can't be it." He's interrupted as the man says, "I am sorry you had to find out. What do we do with him?" I think he should die." Silenced gunshot illuminates the room for a second. A thud as falls down as the doctor who you gave the samples to is killed. Moments later, we shift to a different one as we see an older gentleman, grey suit, grey coat, grey hat, sitting in a library, making notes in a notepad that he has just taken out of his briefcase. Another man steps up behind him. There's another soft as he falls forward onto the table, and those papers are taken as another assassin walks out. You both failed your alertness checks. Just note that you weren't being followed. And they're cleaning up.
Not at the diner, we didn't.
It wasn't a post check. He rolled a 30. So, with all that, thank you all so much for watching this episode of Delta Green. We'll be back next week, -2 players. Guess which two? As we are going to be on a slightly lighter load. But before we drop off, let's quickly go over everyone. Tell us where you can be found, who you are, what you do, and we'll start with Uncle Andros. Alex, because you have a deadline and you need to leave.
Hey everybody, I'm Alex Rodriguez. You can find me on a show called 2 Weeks, 1 Shot. It's a tabletop RPG variety podcast where we play, every 2 weeks, we play one-shot campaigns in a variety of systems. You can find it at the link that Tab just dropped. It's at Tuescast. You can find me on Twitter at Uncle_Andros. I guest all over the place. You can just check my feed and you'll see it. This has been so much fun. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God, indeed. Now you go. There's something behind you so you can just disappear. Next up, who's here?
I gotta go too.
Okay, Amber, who are you? What do you do? Where can people find you? Are you a Swiss Army knife?
Yes, I am. Hi, everybody. I'm Amber, also known as the Space Jamber on Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok. I do have a knife. I do everything. I also have a knife. I am also accepting commissions for editing and writing TTRPGs. So if you're interested in having award-winning content creator Amber Logston writing content for you, please let me know. Hit me up on Twitter. I really have to run to my D&D game. I love you all.
Go.
Bye.
Next up, Never Squid. Where can people find you? What do you do? Are you going to start streaming?
Hi everybody, I'm the Never Squid. I'm an artist and a TTRPG enthusiast. I made my own model recently, so yes, I will start streaming when I don't know. I can be found here on the Tavernaut channel every Sunday this month, and coming Friday for a Halloween one-shot. And starting this Tuesday, every 2 weeks, I will be on Alec Azam's channel for The Squid Menace. No, I'm not the menace.
Are you, though? And then finally, VJ, where can people find you?
Hi, I'm VJ Stonecraft. You can find me on Twitter at VJ_Stonecraft. I'm currently writing Victorian Gaslight Horror for a project that I can't talk about, but on Sundays you can find me here. On Mondays I am playing Monster of the Week at Goblin Cave TV. Every other Tuesday this month, I'm in Monster Hearts at ttrpg, and October 29th, I'll be playing Vazen on Going Critical RPG. I'm also a cast member over at Crossroad Games and the director of the Call of Cthulhu podcast, Love Woodscraft.
Very awesome. Okay, with all that out of the way, thank you all so much for watching. You've been a wonderful audience. I hope you all had a wonderful time. We will be back this Sunday with the penultimate episode with just these two fine people in here. So that's going to be fun. This episode should go up Monday, but if editing fucks me over, it'll go up on Tuesday or Wednesday. On YouTube, which you can find at youtube.tavernaut.com, correction, youtube.tavernaut.tv. And then finally, let me think. Do I have anything else that needs to be shouted out? I guess I have a Discord. Discord.tavernaut.tv for that as well.